A mysterious virus has devastated most of the planet's population. A man awakens in a vast pit filled with countless corpses, seemingly impossible to escape. His eyes betray no immediate signs of life or death, but then he blinks and his muscles contort like those of a zombie or a person going through withdrawal. Upon gaining consciousness, he realizes his grim surroundings and spots a woman's silhouette above. He pleads for her help, and after a moment's hesitation, she tosses him a rope before vanishing. As he attempts to climb out, he discovers a revolver within the pit. Navigating through a dark, rainy forest, he stumbles upon a cabin. Armed with the gun, he enters to find a group of people debating whether to assist him. Upon being noticed, tension rises as they accuse each other of responsibility for the catastrophe and struggle to identify their location. The man tries to explain his situation, recalling waking amidst the corpses and being aided by the Asian woman. However, suspicion lingers among the group, questioning her motives for helping him when his identity remains unknown to them as well. Suddenly, a man writhes in agony, his body contorting and emitting agonizing screams. An attractive blonde rushes to his aid as others watch in shock. Confusion mounts as the man inquires about the unfolding chaos, only to receive the unsettling revelation that none of them can recall their pasts. With no means of communication with the outside world due to the absence of technology, they are stranded in a world devoid of memory and answers. However, they do possess plastic badges which could at least provide them with their names. The blonde introduces herself as Sharon, one man identifies himself as Michael, and the other, armed with a rifle, goes by Lucas. The protagonist, having woken as Nathan, lacks any documents, and neither does the Asian woman. Additionally, she remains silent, communicating only through hieroglyphs she draws. As Nathan tries to decipher her drawings and understand why she saved him, the group explains that she is mute and doesn't comprehend English, yet she seems to possess knowledge surpassing theirs, having awakened before them all. They agree to search the house for clues. While exploring a storeroom, Nathan and Lucas notice a calendar marking the 18th of April in red, signaling an impending event 2 days from today. Meanwhile, Lucas and the Asian woman examine similar needle marks on their veins. In the midst of their investigations, Michael discovers a cupboard stocked with weapons and ammunition. They decide to arm themselves in preparation for unknown dangers. Sharon leads Nathan to the showers, suggesting he freshens up. Alone, Nathan experiences peculiar flashbacks for the first time, attempting to recall his identity and the significance of the 18th to no avail. Suddenly, they hear that the Asian woman has escaped into the forest. Michael and Nathan remain to guard the house while the others explore further. Nathan discovers he knows Latin and comprehends medical terms, while Michael finds himself proficient in handling weapons. Venturing into the forest, the group encounters a body tied to a tree with barbed rope, realizing they are not alone in the area. Following a woman's scream, they find a cabin where the Asian woman is feeding a captive woman. Accusing Nathan of betraying her daughter, she attacks, forcing him to subdue her. Inside the cabin, they spot a CCTV camera, suggesting a control point nearby. The next morning, the group plans to return to the forest, leaving Michael and the Asian woman on guard. Suddenly, a distressing scream echoes from the forest, leading them to discover a man tied up at a glade with barbed rope. Michael rushes to aid him, but the man turns on him, strangling him and stabbing him with a wooden stick. Meanwhile, the rest of the group stumbles upon 2 working cars hidden beneath a pile of branches. Lucas finds a photo in one of the cars featuring everyone except the protagonist. As they investigate, the Asian woman arrives, urgently calling for help for Michael. Rushing to Michael's aid, the group attempts first aid, but he succumbs to his injuries, choking on his own blood. Determined to understand their surroundings, they divide into teams to explore further. The protagonist and Sharon come across an abandoned building marked with the number 18 on its fence. While scouring the area, they encounter a boy who warns of someone named Jonah arriving the following day. Through this encounter, the protagonist learns his own name and is startled by the boy's knowledge. As they interact, the boy releases a Rottweiler and tensions escalate as they try to reason with him. Meanwhile, Lucas falls ill, experiencing severe headaches and unsettling flashbacks involving the Asian woman. Despite his panic, Nathan manages to calm him down and sends him to rest. Later, Nathan and the Asian woman investigate the cabin where they find the captive woman missing. Determined to find her, they stumble upon barracks in the forest, where Nathan discovers his glasses, triggering more flashbacks of his involvement in experiments on people. Back at the house, the Asian woman encounters Lucas, who insists he remembers her. To evade him, she locks herself in the attic. In his search for the missing woman, Lucas discovers a basement filled with disturbing medical equipment and unlocked cells. As Nathan continues his search, he hears a woman's cry from one of the barracks. Inside, he encounters the woman from the cabin, accusing him of murder. Quickly securing the bars, Nathan leaves only to encounter strange individuals screaming and clutching their heads. In the basement, Lucas finds a video camera with footage revealing the 96th day of a research project. Jonah explains positive reactions to injections but notes a side effect of memory loss. The subjects initially lose consciousness and nearly die but later awaken with no memory of their past. In the video, Lucas and the Asian woman are revealed to be among the subjects of the experiment. Meanwhile, Jonah and Sharon return to the house, where an armed and enraged Lucas confronts them, blaming Jonah for their plight due to his experiments. Sharon demands answers from Jonah, who claims to remember nothing. Lucas then forces Sharon to watch the recordings, leaving her in tears. As Jonah tries to defend himself, Lucas knocks him unconscious with the rifle butt. Upon awakening, Jonah finds himself dragged to the pit of corpses by Lucas, who then rushes into the house with Sharon and the mute girl, demanding car keys. Realizing Lucas is unstable, Sharon tries to calm him down, but he becomes increasingly aggressive, chasing the mute girl. When Lucas attempts to assault her, Sharon intervenes, scaring him off with a gunshot. Lucas flees into the forest. Meanwhile, Jonah struggles in the pit but is rescued by the Asian woman, who tosses him a rope. After climbing out, Jonah asks her to keep her distance as he searches for the boy, who may have answers. Returning to the abandoned building, Jonah discovers what appears to be a field hospital and a map outlining a route. He has flashbacks of asking someone to transport a container, citing it as their last chance. Encountering infected individuals, Jonah drops the car keys, which are then swallowed by a crazed woman who attacks him. Forced to defend himself, Jonah kills her. As Jonah drives away with the blood-covered keys, he encounters a group of people on the road, including the boy and his infected mother tied up in a car. The boy's grandmother points a rifle at Jonah, demanding he cease the injections. As Jonah tries to piece together his actions, a sudden collision with another car driven by Lucas interrupts his thoughts. Lucas, visibly unwell, attacks Jonah, who tries to explain his intentions. Despite Jonah's attempts to help, Lucas becomes violent. In a struggle, Jonah manages to calm Lucas momentarily, but their interaction ends tragically with Lucas' death. Jonah recalls memories of gratitude and celebration among the group, which is interrupted by the escape of an infected woman from her cell, reminding him that not everyone was saved. Meanwhile, Nathan regains consciousness, remembering everything, and rushes to find Jonah. Together with Sharon, they fend off infected attackers. As they attempt to flee, Jonah falls victim to an infected man, accidentally tumbling into the pit of corpses. As dawn breaks on the 18th, Nathan and Sharon continue their fight against the infected, while Jonah rushes to their aid. The sound of approaching helicopters signals hope, but as they plead for rescue, they are met with gunfire from the military, intent on eradicating all survivors. Facing certain death, Jonah and Sharon hide in the pit, injecting themselves with the vaccine once more. Sharon passes Jonah a note urging him to remember their mission as doctors battling an epidemic. The note emphasizes the importance of the mute girl, who holds the key to a cure due to her natural immunity. Amidst chaos and desperation, Jonah frees himself from Sharon's body, retrieves a gun, and attempts to escape. Once again, the Asian woman comes to his rescue. In the film's closing scenes, Sharon's voice reads the note, underscoring the mission to save humanity. Jonah and the mute girl stand on the edge of a vast quarry filled with corpses, symbolizing the immense challenge ahead. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon for more recaps like these.